Y'all, I'm so tired. So excuse me, and I don't know what's going on. I don't have my mic. I did not bring it with me by mistake. And I noticed on my last video there were a few quality um issues. I apologize. One good thing about me is I repeat the same thing, if you notice. So even with the quality issues, you could still get the full picture, but I apologize. Um Next week we will not have this problem. Okay. Um, what am I saying? Oh, I did talk about what Daniel Phillip looked like. So, I mean, I didn't talk about witness one. So I'm gonna talk about them right now. So Daniel Phillip is the male escort who testified today that he was paid to have sex with Cassie and that he also find my food coming 8:32. And he also witnessed Cassie getting assaulted by Diddy. I want to say, it's important to remember Diddy is not charged with assault or domestic violence. He's charged with racketeering, sex trafficking, and transporting people across state lines to engage in prostitution. So as Daniel Phillip, what does he look like? Um, Wait a minute. I did talk about that, right? Did I talk about that? Okay, anyway, he's short, buff, um, lighter than me, but not light skin, brown skin, but will look like he has a tan or something. Um, he had on a gray suit, blue tie, white shirt, and he had on some brown shoes. I did not like the brown shoes at all, but that's okay though. Um, I just remember was getting ready to walk in, there was a little pause. So, but I'm not sure if it was hesitation or if he was waiting to be told to come in or what. But there was a slight pause. Um, and he was just real, like you could say he seemed as though he played football in school. He actually kind of reminded me of somebody that I went to high school with. Um, in terms of build, like how he was built, how he was built. He was short, like I said, short, stocky, not fat though, but real buff, buff, buff. I don't know why I just did that. He was cute. I thought he was very attractive, to be honest. He was pretty cute. I didn't see because where I was sitting and I'm also short, I wasn't able to see like his facial expressions or anything while he was testifying, but I do remember when we were starting to cross, and that was when he was being cross-examined by the defense team. Um you could tell that uh he wanted to make sure that he answered the question in full. I could tell that. He did a lot of speculation. And what that is like, oh, um, I remember him saying at one point he don't know, maybe Diddy could have told Cassie to ask him for the penis pic. Like, how would he know that? He doesn't know that, right? You speculating. So that was struck from testimony. Jurors were instructed to not I guess the jurors are supposed to magically not hear that, but he said something to that effect, even if it wasn't word for word. Like I said, he did a lot of speculation, and a lot of times, even before the defense team started to question him, even with the government, the prosecutors, he was answering questions but adding a lot on it, and that was annoying. And I remember watching the YSL trial, and a lot of the defendants did the same. I mean, I'm sorry, a lot of the witnesses did the same thing. Instead of just asking a question, they put in their personal opinion, what they think, and stuff like that. So that's Daniel, and we will pick up with him in the morning at 9:30. Overall, I think he was on the stand for. It seems like each. Each witness is testifying for like an hour and a half, but Daniel still got more to go. Now Mr. Flores. Mr. Flores is the security guard. He was the actual first witness. Um, because the opening statement started at 10:40. Mr. Flores, y'all know I like to go to my notes and quotes. Um, and as I'm flipping through these notes, their opening statements, they said that they being the prosecutors, a woman by the name of Mia, who used to be Diddy's personal assistant, will be testifying. A woman by the name of Jane will be testifying. Apparently, she was Diddy's girlfriend for 3 years back in 2020. So I guess from 2020 to 2023. And then we had Flores. We have Philip, and then Cassie is also supposed to be testifying. But let's get to Flores's. Is this name recording? Yeah, child. The way I'm feeling right now, I'm so sleepy. Um, Let me see. So Israel Flores. He's a police officer, has been with the LAPD for 7 years. So he is the security guard, who responded to a phone call that the hotel received about a woman who was in distress. I can't remember or not if the CNN video shows Cassie picking up the phone. I want to say it does, but when she picked up the phone, as a result of that, he came up. I do know that the CNN video did not show anybody getting off of the elevator. And the CNN video is not the video that we saw today in court, because the CNN video was chopped, basically, it was chopped up, out of sequence, so on and so forth. And while what we saw today wasn't that much of a variation, because ultimately Diddy still um assaulted Cassie, uh the video was slightly different, just a slight variation. So one thing that I want to note, and I think it's the most important to me that I picked up, was that in the incident report, um there were a lot of things that were not said in the incident report that Flores testified to. Like, for instance, he testified that Cassie had a purple ring around her eye, but that wasn't in the incident report. He testified that he was asking Cassie if she wanted to call the police. We could take it out back. Like, the police can come through the back. Nobody has to know. She declined. She was just saying, I'm ready to go. I want my stuff. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. But he didn't put that in the incident report. So and Brian Steele did the cross on him. And as you know, if you don't know, that's Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, and I love his questioning. I'm not sure if his how credible. No, I'm not sure how valuable his cross was, because no matter how many questions no matter how many things he inquired about, we still saw the video, and a lot of people are stuck on Diddy assaulting Cassie. But again, Diddy is not charged with assault, right? So Brian, and then Flores testified to that there was a third male in the room once he went back to the room to kind of help de-escalate things or whatever, but he didn't put that in the incident report. And Brian Steele's whole perspective was, if these things that you all of a sudden remember 9 years from 9 years ago are worth you testifying, why didn't you put them in your incident report? It kind of makes you think, hmm, are you just adding stuff because you understand? You know what I'm saying? It's a third person in the room. How do you know that that person is not the reason why these two are arguing? How do you know that? In opening, the the defense said that Diddy wanted his phone because he and Cassie got into it over the phone situation. I guess she went through his phone, or that's what the inference I made. They got into it over Diddy's phone, and Diddy was trying to get his phone back, right? And then that's how the whole thing started. Diddy was trying to get his phone back. That's why he was chasing her down. Then Flores stated that Cassie kept saying, I just want to leave. I just want to leave. But in the incident report, he said Diddy told Cassie she needs to leave. So his testimony showed inconsistencies, but again, the video still stands. So I'm not quite sure, again, how valuable that information was, even though it did still show inconsistency. Um, Another thing is the reason why there is iPhone footage is because um this happened on the Saturday, March the 5th, 2016. Oh, excuse me. Flores said he was off Sunday and Monday. He went back to work Tuesday, but he couldn't pull the video back up. Okay. Well, before he left, he recorded the incident with his iPhone. So you know how like you play a video on your computer, you pick up your phone and you just record it. It's like if I record myself right now in this video, that's what he did. He said that he did it to show his wife, because his wife would never believe that Diddy was basically beating bitches up in a hotel. So he needed proof. And I thought that was interesting because I know damn well ain't no security guard supposed to be breaching privacy rules and recording videos of people. I wanted somebody to ask them that, but nobody asked that because, and maybe it really doesn't matter, but just for the sake of conversation, like why the hell are you recording a video of a private matter that happened at a public place? Whatever, but that's what happened. He also Flores was spicy. He was real spicy. When Steele was just trying to ask him like why not include every detail? Because according to Flores, he doesn't have to include every detail. And he said, you know, I got the quotes, baby. He said, um, what do you say, child? I'm gonna tell you what he said because he was just real. He was almost a hostile witness to me, and that's just me. I mean, I ain't in law school now, but he was a little he was a little he was a little something, baby. Um, he also he kept telling Diddy that they had to pay. You know, in the video he damaged the vases and stuff like that, and he was like, "Oh, you have to pay for this, blah blah." You know, XYZ, and so he alleges that Diddy turned around. Well, Diddy called him when he was walking away. Diddy called him and was like, oh, you know, basically held up a stack of money. He don't know how much money it was, but held up a stack of money and was like, you know, I don't want nobody to know about this, blah, 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 blah. And Flores was like, I don't want your money. And Steele was like, how do you know that he was trying to bribe you? You can What if he was just trying to pay for the damages right then and there? And Flores was like, well, we don't even like I wouldn't take the cash. I wouldn't take cash. Like we don't even take cash. You know, trying to plant that doubt. I mean, I think Steele did, even though I'm not sure how valuable, how much weight it holds, it was obvious that Flores didn't like his testimony was had way more detail than what the paper did, like than what the incident report did. Um, I'm trying to see. Oh, he said that Diddy had a devilish look and still questioned him about that. Devilish look with no movement. Um, Let me see. Oh, he said he didn't call the police because Cassie didn't offer him any more information. And he literally said, there is no victim there. Nobody was pressing charges. That's what he said. Let me see. I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to, because I know the video has been a big deal about, the video set this whole thing off, and I just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to make sure that I got that in, and um, and still did ask him how did he know that there was a third party in the bedroom because it came out that the way the room was positioned and the fact that Flores when he went back to their room. So basically in the video, at the all that commotion, Flores walks him back to the room. At one point, Cassie goes another way. Diddy and Flores makes a right and goes back to the room. And then Cassie turns around and goes back to the room. And so Flores testified that there was another black male in the room sitting on the corner of the bed. But the way that the room was positioned, or the way that he said that the room was positioned, because, just talking during testimony, still asks, well, how do you know that you even, how were you able to see into the room when your whole body wasn't in the room? You wasn't even in the room. And the way the room is positioned, you just couldn't see it through the door. That is what still settled on. And I think that is it. The opening testimonies were interesting. Like I said, I did state somebody named Mia that the defense was making it seem like all of a sudden she had these claims about Diddy, but she asked to work for Diddy. I guess more recently, even after these. Oh, hold on, y'all. That's my food. Hold on. I'm back, y'all. I had to go get my food. But shit, I forgot what I was trying to say. Oh, the opening statements. Let me just move on to the opening statements. Um, the defense, I mean the prosecutors, obviously laid out that Diddy had was trying to protect his power, was trying to protect his reputation, enforce his power. His chief executives, higher ranking employees, helped him, you know, um, cover up these things. They want to protect his public image, so on and so forth. And obviously, they laid out their case about sex trafficking, racketeering, coercion, and with the sex trafficking and whatnot, and they are really focused on coercion and forcing, right? And then the defense is saying, listen, this is Diddy's private sex life. He owns that he, was abusive. We're not running from that. He was mean sometimes. We're also not running from that. But this is not sex trafficking. This is not racketeering, and this is not transporting people for the sake of engaging in prostitution. So and then too, I expected it to the opening statements to be, I don't know, I watched too much damn Annalise Keaton. You know what I'm saying? So but I think I'm gonna say this. The the government really has to prove their case because right now, today, we heard about assault, we heard about domestic violence, we heard about Cassie paying somebody for prostitution in the sense of she was actually the one to hand over the money. Um, we heard about threesomes. We heard about Cassie setting up the threesomes. We heard about Jane setting up the threesomes, but the sex trafficking part, we haven't heard about that yet. In my opinion. Um, And again, Cassie is definitely testifying tomorrow, so she can offer her opinion. But we just heard about her setting everything up, and it could have been that he told her, like, "Come on, come on now." It's a lot of women who make plays for their boyfriends. He give you the money to pay for the. He give you the money to pay for your nails. He give you the money to pay for the trips. He put the money in your account, but that don't necessarily mean that you paying for it. He paying for it. I'm just saying it could have been. It could be that type of situation. I'm just going by what I heard in court today. It may be completely different. But thank y'all for watching. This your girl, Crazy Lashanae, Crazy Crimes, Verdict Watch, the Diddy trial. Please follow me on underscore LAJANEE underscore on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Well, X. I forgot my damn name, child. But how to spell it. I'm finna get off. Yeah, I gotta tell y'all about this whole line situation, child. I gotta just be there early as hell because it's triple the amount of people who were there obviously last week for jury selection. It's really the Game of Thrones, like seriously. And you know, I'm independent. I ain't come all the way here to be in the overflow room. I can stay my ass at home and recap this. You know, honestly. So I gotta get up early. I got a little tag team situation going on. And so I'll let y'all know how they go. Bye. See you tomorrow.